2024 in the Polk County Regional Health Building, Suite A. If you haven't already done so, then please turn off any devices or cell phones. And at this time, we would like to ask Sunny Hathaway with Central Baptist Church.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Much. Let's pray for the day. Let's pray for a time together. Father, I thank you for the start of a new day. Thank you for the opportunity we have to do the business of this county and the city. Thank you, Lord, for those who are in attendance today. Thank you for Judge Murphy and others who are here today, Lord, making such critical decisions for our community. We pray your blessing on it, and we also pray for wisdom and discernment for those here to my left and those in front of me, Lord, that your hand would be upon each decision that is made. May it bring honor and glory to you and help our city in so many ways, help our community in so many ways, Lord. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. We have two people that have signed up for comment. Is there anyone else? Okay, Mr. Chris Hammond,
Yes, ma'am.
if you'll step up to the podium, that would be great.
Thank you.
The clerk will keep the time. You have 3 minutes.
All right, it's my first time to speak. Thank you.
You are fine. Go ahead.
Thank you. I've prepared a statement, and I'll just read this, and then I'll sit down.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak at today's meeting. My name is Chris, and my wife and I own property in Indian Springs neighborhood in Livingston, Texas. We are very concerned about the deteriorating conditions of our roads. For over the past 20 years, our roads have narrowed and eroded significantly. While we understand that our roads are considered private, we also know that the county maintains roads on school bus routes. After the heavy rains in April and May, many of the roads in the neighborhood have become unsafe and difficult to travel. At the end of the 2024 school year, residents had to find alternative ways to get their children to the front of the neighborhood because the school bus could not safely navigate our roads. Some children had to walk up to a mile from the back of the neighborhood. The roads have become so narrow that in some areas, only one car can pass at a time. And the high crowding in the middle is also a concern. The poor road conditions have led 2 different trash companies to cease service in our neighborhood. For example, Piney Woods trash truck experienced a road collapse while attempting to navigate through. When I spoke to Jerry, the Road and Bridge Commissioner for Precinct 4, he stated that his trucks could manage the roads and attributed Piney Woods' departure to a lack of customers, while claiming that ProStar was simply scared. However, both Piney Woods and ProStar cited that the road conditions as the primary reason for pulling out. Additionally, I spoke to Director Tina Maddox at the school bus barn. She confirmed that the bus has stopped entering our neighborhood due to road conditions at the end of the school year and only pick up students at the front during summer because due to a lack of personnel. They plan to resume their routes in August for the new school year. The Indian Springs POA has been doing its best to maintain the roads with limited funds and volunteers, but they only have one piece of equipment in poor condition. Therefore, I'm asking the county to assist us in bringing our main roads up to a safe standard. This would not only ensure the safety of our children and school buses, but also encourage the return of trash services to our neighborhood. In their current state, some roads are impassable for emergency vehicles, posing a serious risk to our residents. We are not asking for special treatment, but we believe that our community deserves basic infrastructure for safety and access, especially given that we pay property taxes. We plead to keep the school buses running in our neighborhood. Please consider our request to help maintain the roads on school bus routes and support our neighborhood in making the other necessary repairs. Ensuring safe travel for school buses, emergency vehicles, and sanitation trucks will significantly improve the quality of life for all residents in Indian Springs. Thank you for your attention to this critical issue and allowing me to speak today.
Thank you, Mr. Hammond. Just for the record, Mr. Hammond, you do realize that we have an awful lot of subdivisions that look like that in Polk County.
Right.
So we are limited by law as to what we can or cannot do. But if you'll send us your information, and I would suggest you visit with the commissioner again, and we will see what kind of options we have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Jennifer Norris.
Please bear with me, this is my first time public speaking.
That's okay.
I did bring some documents, but I didn't bring enough, but if y'all wanna share and look at them when I get to that part.
We cannot do that at this
Okay,
point in
that's
time.
fine.
You can leave them and we can distribute them.
That's fine. Good morning, thank you everyone for being here today, thank you for letting me speak today. I really don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna try my best. Today I would like to talk about telecommunicators. If you don't know what that refers to, it's dispatch at the Polk County Sheriff's Office. I work there, I've been there for 6 years, 7 years, come November. I would like to discuss overtime pay for dispatchers due to dispatch being shorthanded due to sometimes people aren't meant for the job, sometimes they just can't hack it, and sometimes it's the pay. So on that being said, we have people who have to come in and work when people get sick and things like that, okay? If overtime was granted, we would have no issue with taking off in coverage. I think maybe we'll see at least a little bit of difference and just maybe a little pointed things that wouldn't be so hard on ourselves and myself, including our children and our families. This agency starts out at about $40,000 a year, and that's for full-time employees. Other agencies start out at higher. We lose good employees, good dispatchers to go to other agencies that make more money. If overtime was granted, I wouldn't have to work a second job and make ends meet for my family. In the last 6 months, dispatchers have been paid for their FLSA. It's comp time earned that's worked over 40. I have me and another dispatcher, I put the numbers together. We were paid almost $10,000. That's 4 checks, 2 apiece, because we were paid twice. Where does that money come from, you ask? I really don't know. I don't know if it comes from general funds. I don't know if it comes from other spots in the department that are vacant. So we have spots that people aren't working and they take that money from there to pay us. But if overtime was granted, you wouldn't have to take that money from those spots possibly. And then it would be rewarded to us, and it would be an incentive for us too, because we do have a hard time with our full-time employees and our labor pool employees coming to work because they feel like they're always at the sheriff's office. So that's really basically what I have to say today. But thank you for your time.
Thank you. If you will give that information to the sheriff
Okay.
so that we can take a look at it, because
Okay.
as I recall, we've been paying you all for overtime.
We're
So-
getting comp time. We get checks for comp time. We
Okay,
get 2 checks.
I
don't know if that's the
will,
same.
if you'll go through your supervisor,
Okay.
then we will look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Jennifer, since you're an employee, we will review it with your supervisors, and we'll make sure you get an answer in writing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item number 3, informational reports. Adult Protective Services proclamation for elder abuse awareness. Do we have anyone here that represents that group? I guess they're just gonna pick their proclamation up. Okay. Item number 4, new business, your consent agenda. You have an addendum on B in the amount of $232,143.03. Is there anything on the consent agenda that anybody would like to put? Nope.
So moved.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Cassidy. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, consider approval of personnel matters as follows. Reviewing consideration of personnel action form requests submitted by department heads since the last meeting, and review of any authorized emergency hires. We have no emergency hires at this time, and we included a preliminary listing of the PAFs in your packet. I need a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Robertson, second Commissioner Dubus. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. B, Personnel Management System update. We've been working with Human Resources to update the work schedule time, reporting and leave time section of our policies, as previously discussed on February the 13th. Copies of the updated policy documents were provided for your review. You have some of the proposed changes and address any concerns. So if you look at it, section 6.0 changes. On February 27th, the court approved modifying the work period for law enforcement from 28 days to 14 days to be consistent with the pay period. And that was at the recommendation of the Department of Labor and TAC. The proposed policy update to section 6.0 incorporates that change. The other significant change in that section is that there will be no accrual of equivalent or straight time for law enforcement officers on the 207K program for those hours worked between 80 and 86. This is also consistent with other counties, with the recommendation from TAC and with the Department of Labor recommendation. So that's one of the changes. Section 8.0 changes. The significant changes to this section are in regard to the sick leave pool and personal time. Per that discussion the court already had, the revised policy does away with the sick leave pool committee, leaving just a human resources director as a sick leave pool administrator appointed by the court to oversee the pool. The proposed policy also increases the number of days that can be donated annually from 3 to 5, which is the maximum allowed by statute. It requires an employee to donate at least 8 hours per fiscal year to enroll in that sick leave pool for that year, meaning that you cannot receive time from the pool if you do not contribute to the pool. It also allows an employee to donate up to 40 hours of sick leave to the pool upon separation from employment. We believe that these changes will help increase the number of hours donated because more people will be benefiting directly. As previously discussed, the proposed policy also does away with personal leave, which is currently earned by not utilizing sick time throughout the year. So in lieu of this, the court approved at the last meeting to add the county incentive program, which grants 8 hours of paid leave in exchange for the employee completing their annual physical. All other changes to both sections were in an effort to make the language more concise and keep it less confusing. And then last, Human Resources has also provided an update on the job inventory listing, which was included for your review, to reclassify those positions that will no longer qualify as exempt. If you will recall, the federal government changed the exempt criteria, and so as of July 1st, 2024, the revised job inventory must be approved for it to be in compliance with the Federal Department of Labor. Anyone have any comments on any of those?
I do not.
Can I have a motion then to move forward? Motion to approve,
I'll second.
Commissioner Dubus, Commissioner Robertson. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 6, consider requests for revisions and amendments to the budget as follows. A copy of the proposed revisions, number 2024-15, is included for your review, and these are budget revisions presented by the county auditor's office.
So moved.
Commissioner Cassidy, Commissioner Purvis, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, discuss and consider any and all necessary action related to bid number 2024-20 to rewire and add electrical outlets in the server room. On May 20th, a circuit break malfunction affecting the power supply to the server room. Upon investigation, it was revealed that all the electrical outlets in the server room at the sheriff's office, except for one, are connected to a single breaker. So as a temporary measures, the servers were located and powered through an extension cords. And so on May 28th, the court approved to advertise for bids. All bids were due to be submitted to purchasing and procurement by Tuesday, June 18th. A summary of the bids received is included for your review, We received bids from True Line Construction in the amount of $5,761, and from Griffin Electric in the amount of $12,769.71. And there's, we have funds available in the contingency line items to cover the expense for the jail.
I'm gonna recommend we go with True Line.
Okay,
Second.
is there a second on that? Commissioner Dubose, Commissioner Cassidy, any discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, designate 3, you notice the number 3 instead of 2. Polk County representatives shall serve on the Deep East Texas Council of Governments Board of Directors. This is an annually recurring item for the court's consideration, but the number of Polk County members that may serve on the board has increased from 2 to 3. Currently, I serve on it, and Commissioner Robertson serves on the DETCOG board, and so we need to make a recommendation for a 3rd person. It can be anybody.
I'll do it 1 year. I ain't never done it since I've been here. I'll do it 1 year. Next year is one of y'all.
No, we'll make sure it gets on there when you're not gonna be here to vote. You know how that works.
Well,
I can see the deer, I can see the deer in the headlight looking there, and I said, well, I'll do it one time. I ain't never done it.
Well, then I won't say the rest of what I was gonna say.
What?
Very well, that comes as a motion.
What else? Oh, you wanted somebody else? Now, if you want somebody else on
No,
there,
no, no,
I'll gladly
no.
step back.
No, that comes as a motion from Commissioner Purvis. Do I have a second?
I didn't, I second.
Commissioner Cassidy, all in favor, say aye.
Next year is one of y'all.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Motion carries. No, I was gonna say it doesn't have to be a member of the court. We could ask another elected official.
Too late.
Put my foot in my mouth one again.
And you're on there for life now. I understand how that works. Okay, item number
I just wanna see what
9.
I've been missing. I've been missing.
Yeah, you're missing a lot of fun. Consider approval of agreement with Langford Community Management Services to update the Polk County multi-jurisdiction hazard mitigation plan to be funded by General Land Office contract number 22-130-033-E029. On November 12th, the court accepted the GLO contract for the CDBG block grant for local hazard mitigation funding in the amount of $100,000. On December 22nd, the court authorized the Office of Emergency Management to issue a request for proposal and selected Courtney, Jessica Hutchins, and Commissioner Cassidy to review. On April 9th, 2024, the court accepted the recommendation from the scoring committee to select Langford. A copy of Langford's agreement is included for your review. Per the terms of the grant and the agreement, Langford's profits will not exceed 5% or $5,000 of the total project cost. And this has been to legal review and has been approved. So I need a motion.
Second.
Commissioner Cassidy, Commissioner Dubose, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 10, discuss and consider any and all necessary action regarding the request from the Texas Department of Transportation for special use project over bridge replacement on Sunflower Road, County Road 1077, over Big Sandy Creek in Precinct 4. The construction phase is now underway, and contract was awarded by TxDOT to DCC Construction and Services LLC from White House, Texas. Since it's within the Big Thicket Preserve, then they have to meet very specific objectives regarding prescriptive easements and special use permits for any activities on the federal land. Okay, you have the completed application, which allows TxDOT and its agents to go in and do preliminary surveys for mapping and designing the bridge. Commissioner Cassidy,
So moved.
you wish to move forward. Commissioner Cassidy, second. Commissioner Purvis, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Maybe that's somebody we thought.
Yes, sir.
So those ones that you mentioned, those were previous ones that.
You wanna step up here to where the mic will catch you?
Yeah. So we've done SUP permits before during the design phase of this project, which is what you've described, the preliminary, the engineering survey and the geotech. This is for the construction. So, this is so we can commence in doing the bridge replacement.
Correct.
Just- so-
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir. Thank y'all.
Okay, item number 11, consider approval upon conditions met or rejection of the Shores of Lake Livingston subdivision, which is located in precinct 1. We have a letter from GLS recommending conditional approval, which is included for your review. And we have 3 items. At this time, item B, the OPC should more specifically accurately name the project, has been done. Item C, the bond should list the name as a correct name and the listed improvements, and that has been done. The only thing we lack as of yesterday, unless that has changed, is that we need to have a copy, not a copy, we need to have the original bond. We have to verify that it is in fact the correct bond. So you want to do approval upon conditions met?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Very well, Commissioner
Second.
Robertson, second Commissioner Purvis, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 12, consider approval of Sheriff's Office request for interlocal cooperation agreement with Walker County for housing of Polk County inmates. The sheriff has requested that the court enter an agreement with Walker County to house our inmates in Walker County at a daily rate of $41 per inmate. Again, since no funds were budgeted and it's due to the jail being understaffed, the previous agreement was due to vacancies and in the jail, we can pay for it. The court approved at the June 11 meeting to utilize unused jail and sheriff's salary to cover these expenses. A copy of the agreement is included for your review.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Dubose. I need a second.
Second.
Commissioner Cassidy, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Sheriff, that one sounds like a better deal.
Yes.
And it's closer. Okay. Now we go for all the fun. Budget workshop. Okay. If you get your packet, okay, I didn't, I'm just gonna go through some of these pages. We have not been through the whole thing exactly line by line at this time. So I flagged a couple, some pages, my pink flags, some pages to call your attention to. On page 4, the page number's at the bottom. On page 4, in the middle, the DA, District Attorney and Law Enforcement, you're gonna see iCrime Fighter. That is a service that we're considering, which would allow the DA's office, our sheriff, to quit having to put things on USBs and taking a chance of things going astray or that additional expense of somebody having to do that. And so we're considering iCrime Fighter at this time, which will also simplify things at the DA's office. Oh, okay. So that will simplify things, so we're hoping to move in that direction. On page 5, the TRA patrol reimbursement towards the bottom has been adjusted. It was the FY 2025 request was for $304,347,000 in change, and It's been adjusted to $401,448.52. If you will recall, that was one of the contracts that we said that the sheriff and TRA are gonna have to communicate directly with each other, in terms of salary increases, in terms of budget items. And with SB 22, then that does impact that contract. Okay, page 9. At the very bottom of the page, discretionary salary pool. What we did last year was we put all the discretionary monies that were being recommended into one salary pool. And then that way, after the budget is adopted, then we move the monies, transfer the monies into each department. So if you look at that, and it looks like we've got this huge salary for $322,457, that's for all departments. Okay, page 15. If you look at our property insurance and you look at our vehicle insurance, both of those have increased a lot. And that's because of our claims and because some of the trends that are occurring in the industry. Okay, if you just flip the page to 16, you're gonna see that the amounts are in there, but we have not put the FY 2025. You have the previous information there, because I have not gotten an opportunity to discuss the district court information yet. So I need to talk to the district judges for complete numbers for what they're going to budget. And that will have to happen prior to us adopting the budget and prior to their hearing. They have to hold a hearing where they provide the information. Okay. Page 31. The difference, the change there in the JPs is that we have put in the certificate pay for those clerks that would actually be eligible. Not everybody has clerks that are eligible for the certificate pay. Okay, and you flip over again, page 43. You have capital outlay, right under capital expenses. And this is in the jail, and the expense is for $52,039, and that's for the jail cameras. Page 49. Flag the car cameras and the body cameras, but you can remove that expense for the car cameras at this time, because the vehicles that are now coming to the sheriff have cameras in them, and so that is now part of the contract with Enterprise. So it's included somewhere else. Page 59. The transfers, we don't usually discuss transfers a whole lot just because there's so many of them. But if you look at the transfer to Justice Court Technology for the JPs, basically it's been at $60,000 consistently or over. And they were able to reduce it by going to a cloud with their software programs, and so now it's at little over 20,000. Okay, if you turn to the next page, page 61, the hotel motel tax. I have some discussion in the budget process where I want to discuss the hotel motel tax money. So the hotel motel tax money comes with stipulations. We can't just utilize it however we want. It has to be used to promote the area or for tourism purposes. So it has to create what they call heads in a bed. So that, we have some stipulations on that. However, it can be utilized like for the Chamber of Commerce, for the Commerce Center, for things that encourage people to come in. It's part of the Texas Forest Country Partnership, Houston Wilderness, and then the Onalaska Volunteer Fire Department fireworks, the multicultural, which I'm not sure is going to happen anymore, the Christmas lights, things like that. But we're going to discuss it later in the budget, but I want you to be aware of what those funds can and cannot do. Okay, page 71. 71 to page 97 is Road and Bridge. Basically, what we typically do is we go in and follow the sequence and place the monies wherever they have been historically. However, if you want to make some changes in terms of where your road and bridge money is placed, then certainly let Carrie know and it will be placed appropriately within your budget. Okay. Page 98 of 122. The salary and benefits for the jail and the SO. This is all SB 22 money. This is all the SB 22 salary grant program. So you have the salaries, SB 22 salaries for the district attorney, and then you have the SB 22 salaries for the jail and for the sheriff's office. If the sheriff's office and the jail become fully staffed, then the general fund will need to transfer monies for everything that goes over the 500,000 mark. So that may be affected. SB 22, the 500,000 will stay in there, but if we become fully staffed, then the taxpayers are gonna have to pick up the difference. Okay, that's all I have on that portion. So now, if you will flip to page 122, the 122, then you will get to pull out my agenda list. Okay, the first thing you have, that first page is the JP activity and fines and fees collected. As we move forward, then one of the things we did is had a conversation with the constables and the JPs so that we can make sure that all of that is coordinated. We do have a new constable coming in January with Kevin, and so we're trying to have these conversations before we get started. So you can look at the JP, like JP1 has 3 positions in that office, and you can see the trend of new cases and what is occurring. So the projected new cases in JP1 position is 1,082. And then if you look at JP2 at 2.5 position, the projected cases are at 1,094. JP3 with 2 positions, the projected cases is at 1296. JP4 is at 2322. So you can see the activity and also the number of positions. You also see the trending that has occurred in each office in terms of activity, and then also fines, fees, and collections. So one of the things that I went ahead and included in this budget as well was to increase JP2 to 3 instead of 2.5 positions. First of all, it's very difficult to hire half a person. I mean, a part-time person good part-time person is very difficult to find, but JP4 and JP2 came and visited about trying to get the pretrial services implemented again so that they could move forward with some of their cases, but at the same time, not fill up the jail. So this budget includes that additional half person for Sarah. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Sarah?
I'm still working on pretrial stuff.
Okay.
So I do have a few numbers together that I'll give to you.
Okay, so they are working on what that program would look like. We used to have a pretrial services coordinator, if y'all will recall, but it kind of went by the wayside and ended up not doing exactly what law enforcement and the judicial system needed. So the JPs would like to reactivate that so that they can get some of their caseload off but not fill up the jail at the same time. So this budget includes that. Okay, if you go to the next one, you have cost of living history. I also made a copy. You should have had this on in the front of you. This is what we went over last time, what we reviewed last time. You'll have to excuse it, it's all my scribbles, but that way you know what we discussed last time, so you can take a look at it. So if you look at the cost of living history, no, it's not in your packet, it's right there. Okay, so again, if you look at the cost of living history that we've gone through, you have it all broken down. So if you go all the way through, and I'm only gonna address the previous 3 or 4 years, okay? So in 2022, we did 5% for employee COLA, 7.5% for the employees, and then 5% for the officials. So, because then the 7.5 is because it was the 2.5% merit funding. So then in 2023, we did 10%, you ended up with 5% for elected officials. 2024, we did 4% discretionary funding, and elected officials are not eligible for discretionary funding. So at this time, if you look at the breakdown that occurred, or that has occurred, I had one recommendation that was sent to me, and that was that instead of what I recommended that we do for the 100 level employees, that they get 12.5% increase. For the 200 level, which is law enforcement, that they get an additional 7.5%, and that elected officials get a 5%. So this is the breakdown on the numbers. With SB 22, your sheriff's office and your deputies got anywhere from 5 to 9% increase. Your corrections officers received 15 to 17% increase. So the total that would be received is that if we did only the 12.5% for the lowest paid employees, which by the way includes dispatchers, then the SO will receive somewhere between 12.5 to 16.5% increase. The corrections officers will receive anywhere from 22.5% to 24.5% increase. In 2023-2024, the employees got 10 to 15% increase to your elected officials' FICA. If we are going to level the playing field, then we have to focus on the 100s. Those are the lowest paid employees. So 12.5% at the 100s is less than 12.5% at the 200s, because their salaries are higher to begin with. So, if we compare all that and the information that I gave you all last time, so using that recommendation that was sent, it would actually increase our payroll by 1.2 million. It would actually end up being, it would actually end up being at 24.2 million. So it would actually be higher. So we've got to, there are two areas we need to focus on. One, we have to bring our 100 level employees up. Two, we've got to bring our elected officials up. All of you should have received your TAC salary survey as well. Everybody get theirs? No, I'm not giving it to you. Did you receive it in your office?
I didn't.
Okay, we'll make sure that you get it.
I know it.
No, we'll make sure you get one. You can also go on the TAC website and look at it. Okay, so that's your cost of living. So this is what I did. You have a comparison. You have a comparison that we provided, has a line on it, has a.
Is that here?
Yep, yes, sir, right here. So what I did was I took the tax salary survey for elected officials. And then we just compiled it. 254 counties is a lot of counties. So what we did was then I compiled the population group and went through and picked some of the counties that are similar in size to Polk County. And so the ones that are included in this listing is Cherokee County, Rusk County, Nacogdoches, Angelina, Navarro County, and Kirk County, along with Polk County. The JPs are right in the hunt in terms of their salaries. The commissioners are right in the hunt. The sheriff is in the hunt, and my position is in the hunt. The elected officials that get left behind based on the tax salary survey is the tax assessor collector, the district clerk, the county clerk, and the treasurer. And when I said they get left behind, I mean they get left way behind.
What about the audit? Did you say audit?
That's the district judges said the auditors.
Oh, okay, 'cause I was listening.
Oh, well, we put it in there just because it was in the salary, in the tax salary survey. And so, yes, our auditor is also way behind. But I haven't put a recommendation, we haven't put a final recommendation in there until we speak to the district judges. So yes, our auditors is left behind as well. And way behind as well. Now, I know that the court is hesitant to give a raise to elected officials. So, I have two options. Option one, and then option two for the court's consideration. In option one, we take countywide elected officials. Keep in mind, Tom Brown, we don't have anything to do with. Tom Brown, that is set by the state. So in in option one, I'm proposing increases in the salaries to line up or remain lined up with TAC for all elected officials that are at countywide, have countywide responsibilities to $65,000. The sheriff would go to 79. I would go to 73. Then to reduce the travel allowance for all the court members to 15. So it doesn't take money away from anybody on the court. But that would allow us, if we take the 5,000 from travel, slide it to salary, then that would allow us to line up and bring our tax assessor, collector, district clerk, county clerk, everybody up to a higher standard. Bless you. We're not gonna decide, I'm just going through the options. And then that would allow the JPs who do not have countywide responsibilities to go to 59, but maintain their travel at 5. One of the things you're gonna notice when you go to our constables is that we cannot publish our elected official salaries and include Kevin Berman, who will be participating in SB 22. It has to go under Ray Myers because that will be the constable at that time. And so you'll notice that to get them to SB 22, then all the constables, with the exception of Ray Myers' position, will go to 45. And then Ray Myers will stay at 37.5. And then when Kevin completes his first complete year, then we will be able to move him up with the other constables, because he does intend to participate in SB 20. Okay. Capital projections for now, and go ahead and go to the debt schedule, since that's the next one in your book. Did you have 2 options on there? Yes, it's included in their packet. It's included in their packet. Since we're not making a decision, the other option is just to raise their salaries, to go to the 65, but not change the travel. Okay. The next that you have in your packet is your debt schedule. This year, our 2018 tax notes will drop off, and the amount issued was slightly under $1 million at a 2.87 interest rate, and so those will drop off. And then you'll see how each of the series tax notes will drop off slowly but surely. At the bottom, you have the total amount in terms of principal and interest for each year. And the budget debt requirement is at the very, very bottom. So the budget debt requirement for 2024 is $3,252,298.88. For 2025, it would be $248,468.13. And then it goes down, but because those are all adjusted. For those of you that are new to the court, when we negotiate these tax notes, then if you'll look at the 2022 tax notes, you see how the amount changes. will, because they will adjust it according to whatever debt we have at that time, so that you don't overburden yourself at any one time. So they may slide some of the monies over. Okay, then you have road and bridge, portion of the debt. The debt requirement for Road and Bridge 1 is $23,984.45. Precinct 2, $34,043.66. Precinct 3, Road and Bridge, no debt. And Precinct 4, Road and Bridge, $56,585.64. Now we get to capital projections. Capital projections request in mobile equipment other than road and bridge. We have emergency management for aftermarket equipment, the deputy vehicle, and AgriLife would like a new livestock trailer. So the vehicle aftermarket equipment is valued at $7,025. Livestock trailer is at $25,000 or not to exceed. Handheld radios, the sheriff is pretty much in good shape at this point in time, but that still leaves us with the constables, the district attorney, emergency management, the environmental enforcement, the fire marshal, so forth. So we would like to put in there an estimate of about $150,000, because also we would like to be able to at some point in time bring our volunteer fire departments, and we have you on the list, road and
Well,
bridge.
and that's the thing, we don't need to do anything with radios, I don't think, until we got power to our tower, until they
Yes.
get it all.
Yes, sir.
Andy, y'all know more about the radios than I do, but the tower's up and running and, but they don't have any of the radio stuff in it yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
so
if they
that- and then we
get the radio stuff in there in November, capital projections is not gonna get spent until we need
Yeah.
it.
But I just want them to be on board with us and help me and the rest of us get the right radios
Oh, no, they will.
to where, where it all works.
Yes, sir.
For once, in our lifetime, maybe it all works.
And you can go to that COG meeting and fight for grants.
How damn you go?
So no, keep in mind that what is on capital purchase projections is not necessarily going to get spent immediately, right? But it's there available, because also we wanna make sure, we had a meeting with Livingston PD, Corrigan PD, Onalaska, everybody, so that everybody is on the same area. Okay, we don't know when we're gonna get in the courthouse. But assuming we do make it into the courthouse, if the Texas Historical Commission doesn't change their minds a couple more times, or Commissioner Purvis doesn't slit all their tires before they leave Polk County. We put in there $100,000 for desks, shelves, filing cabinets, etc. We also have in there a request from the county clerk for voting equipment in the amount of $24,850. Yes. And then tax office server in the amount of $24,500. And then the sheriff's office domain server in the amount of $30,000. So the total without the handheld radios is at $179,350. So part of what we in our attempt to try to stabilize debt, that's part of why we took the contract with Enterprise, so that we wouldn't have these spikes in debt that occurred when we needed to have 10 vehicles all at one whack. The other thing is the tax notes last for 7 years, so a lot of times we would have debt on equipment or vehicles that we no longer even owned. So this way that eliminates that and it stabilizes our debt. So if you look at our prior tax note issues of the ones that are not yet retired. In 2018, we issued $995,000 worth. 2019, $1,750,000. 2020, $865,000. 2021, $500,000. 2022, $5,875,000. 2023, we did not issue any tax notes. And 2024, we did not issue any tax notes. And what we did was we had surplus depository interest, and so we eliminated the tax notes for those years. Any questions on that?
If you can keep it done like that, we don't have to have it this year, this next year.
We're working on it. We're working on it. We have other years that we have not issued any tax notes, to try to keep our debt stable. Okay, now, back. Are there any questions over this? Okay, first of all, this is not for distribution. Okay, it's basically right now, because right now it's a draft budget, so go through it. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, then please feel free to send them to me, and if I can answer them, I will. If it's something you wish to discuss at the meeting, then we can do that as well, not a problem. Okay. Next up, item E, consider revisions to the FY 2022 permit fee schedule. On June 13th, Holly Oliver emailed proposed changes to permit fee schedule along with the revenue history and projections for the FY 2025 budget year. A revised permit fee schedule was updated for RV and mobile home park permits. It was sent on June 18th. Holly's goal is, with the proposed changes, is to bring our fee schedule closer in line with the surrounding counties. One question was, we thought we reviewed this earlier, and we did, but it was only for the solar farms. So this is for the entire fee schedule to bring it in. Copy of the fee schedule and supporting documentation was included in your packet for your review. Holly's here to ask any questions.
So moved.
Very well, Commissioner
second.
Purvis. Second, Commissioner Robertson. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item F, consider any and all action related to hotel motel tax distribution. This is where I said, keep in mind. So the county has imposed an occupancy test, but that's been going on for a long time pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 352 of the Texas Tax Code. The taxes collected must be spent on programs and activities related to tourism, specifically putting heads in beds. We have approved agreements with the Chamber of Commerce and the Polk Higher Education Foundation, which is the Commerce Center, which each receive a portion of the funds in exchange for promotion and management of activities that attract tourism. So in recent years, the amount of money that has been collected and therefore distributed has significantly increased. And so part of what we would like to do, and especially in the summer months, is part of what we would like to do is, instead of making it a flat percentage so that we can start engaging also in other areas, is we would like to do the percentage, but then put a cap not to exceed. So we would like to put a not to exceed of $24,000 on it. So summer months are usually busy, so we're gonna be pretty close to FY 2023, if not higher. We still have 2 more quarterly distributions to make to the Chamber and the Foundation, and they've surpassed the amounts that they received prior to 2021. So the agreements that we currently have in place allocate 40% of the collected funds to the Chamber and 30% to the Foundation. And then the county retains the other 30% and allocates it in other places. So what we would like to do is we would like to redo the contract, put a not to exceed $24,000 or whatever amount you all wish to place on it. so that we can go ahead and be able to provide more monies for other organizations that might be interested in the hotel motel tax monies, or that maybe we have a project that the court would like to consider in terms of what we do with the hotel motel tax monies.
Could we go, instead of the 40-30-30, could we do 35-30-35? So 35 for the chamber, 30 for the foundation, 35 for the county?
Well, but that doesn't allow us ever to build up anything if the court ever decides that they would like to do a project with the hotel motel tax monies. If we decide to do, I don't know, signage, if the county decides, if someone comes along and they revive the Polk County Folklife Festival, or if they do something like that, we won't have monies accrued. If we do, let's say we do 25,000 per, 25,000 is almost 10% of the chamber's budget. So that's a nice bump for the chamber and for the foundation.
Well, I don't know, I look at 2023, apparently y'all shorted the foundation.
No, that's, some of that hotel motel tax money came in later. And so we should not have, at that time, we should not have shorted the foundation. Let me double check that.
Well, I was just looking at it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. Yes, so we will check on that.
But,
And this is to date, the 2024s.
yeah, 2020, but I was looking at 2023.
Carrie, let's check the 2023, make sure
I'll take it.
that's not a
The
typo.
typo?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does show how the tourism in the county is growing.
That is correct, the tourism is growing,
Yeah.
and
Hotel occupancy
so we
is
want
very-
to maintain those, those numbers. But if we decide to do some kind of project, we wanna make sure that the court, and maybe not us, maybe the next court has accrued some monies that they can do whatever project they wish to do. That would be tourism related, it has to be tourism related.
That's why I was saying increase that. You think increase it more than 35?
No, I just wanna put a not to exceed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I just wanna put a not to exceed on it, so that if we wanna start accruing, or if we wanna increase some of the monies, or we have a whole new program that comes in and says, I would like some tourism dollars. Well, if we've already committed to all 100%, well then, we don't have anything to give anybody else. And that money accrues right there. It stays there.
And just as a side question, COVID was in 2020. When was COVID?
Basically.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you can tell the.
Oh, you can tell the difference.
Look at there.
Yeah, it doubled. Yeah, in 2020, the hotel occupancy tax collected was $29,429, and in 2021, it was $54,245. That's a significant change. And they all went nuts in 2023 because you have a little over 74,000. Now, the agreements can be modified as well. If you wanna go through and say 35, that makes no difference to us.
That's what originally, that's why I was saying 30, instead of 40 for the chamber, 35, and then 30 for the foundation. Remain that, and then instead of 30 for the county, go up to 35, but.
That's
just
fine. We can do 35, 30, and then 35,
So that gives.
and then put a not to exceed.
Yeah.
What would you like the not to exceed to be? We can do 25.
So right now, it's not,
Historically, the chamber, like 2023 was the only year that they even, you only have 2 years where they went over 21. So, pick a number for the not to exceed. We're looking ahead, it's not like we've given the chamber $75,000.
How about 30,000?
Well, then we won't have much left.
Well, I'm thinking, I mean, this county's gonna grow, it's already growing by leaps and bounds, and tourism is growing.
Okay, that's
I'm just trying
fine.
to think.
So not to
Don't talk
exceed,
bad also, I mean,
well, I was doing was I was looking, okay, you have, in 2023, they got 28,000, a little over 28,000. In 2021, they got a little over 21, but everything else has been 13, 11, 18, and currently 17. So
that's
30,000?
I'm looking at the future.
Oh, no, I am too. I am too.
You're looking at 24 instead of 30.
Mm-hmm.
Split the difference.
Split the difference.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
28,000? That's fine. That'll work. Okay.
Only 28?
Yes, sir.
Sounds great.
I conceded. Okay, G. Consider utilization of unclaimed capital credits. So each year, the court approves to submit a request to the state comptroller's office for unclaimed rural electric cooperative credits. Per local government code section 381.004, any funds received must be used for one of the following programs. And they're listed there. They can be used for economic development, small or disadvantaged business development, to stimulate, encourage, and develop business location and commercial activity, to promote or advertise the county and its vicinity, to improve the extent to which women and minority businesses are awarded county contracts, to support comprehensive literacy programs that benefit county residents, for the encouragement, promotion, improvement, and application of the arts, and to support a children's advocacy center. So,
I thought you'd be used for scholarships too,
now, Chico may be able to use it for scholarships,
so we can,
but we cannot.
okay.
So, right now, we contribute 20,000 to the Economic Development Corporation. And then, since FY 2023, we've approved to utilize a portion of these funds to pay membership to the Polk County Economic Development Corporation. And we can consider agreements with other organizations. We already fund a portion for the Polk County Child Welfare, for Children's Haven, for CASA, for some of our local child advocacies. And so what I would like for the court to consider, again, is to have a similar agreement as the hotel motel, and agree to give some of this money to CASA, Children's Haven, READ, which is a literacy program, and the Child Welfare Board to distribute a percentage of these funds going forward. Now, this is really a wacky fund, because like 1 year we got $4,000, but then you may turn around and get 120 the next year.
I'll make that motion for us to ask you to draw up agreements for
Okay.
us to review and consider.
Okay, so you wanna, I had in my head 10%, and then let's put a not to exceed. So you do a 10%. Now, this doesn't mean that we're gonna remove funding that is coming from our general fund to those organizations.
Right.
This would be additional monies, but it does not take the place of what is already budgeted. That make sense? Okay, so if we gave each of them $10,000, and then we take a look at what the percentage needs to be, but then give me a not to exceed. if we did 10%, 15%, 20% amongst those organizations, and then not to exceed $10,000.
That's fine.
You wanna split it amongst those organizations? So maybe what we do is 20%, that we hold 20% in case another organization comes along? That work?
That'd work.
I just know the county has some very good support, and these right here listed, that's a prime example of them. So however we
Absolutely.
Support them.
Absolutely, and so this gives us a way to fund additional monies to them that are actually increasing, not because we've done anything. Okay. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Hang on,
Okay, Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Cassidy.
hang on, Judge, you already had a motion by
I made a motion,
Okay,
I just need a second.
Robertson, Cassidy, all in favor on G, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now let me back up over here, because I don't think I did F. So that motion comes from Commissioner Robertson for the 35-30-35, not to exceed 28,000. Right? On hotel motel taxes.
Correct.
Okay, that comes as a motion from Commissioner Robertson.
28,000.
Dubose. All in favor, huh?
28,000.
Correct. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Commissioner Purvis.
Where's Jesse?
Item number 14.
Where's Jesse?
Consider any and all necessary action regarding the proposal to parge coating of exterior surfaces of the Polk County Courthouse. These are proposed change orders that were included for your review. When the paint was removed from the courthouse exterior, significant damage and discoloration were revealed. J.C. Stoddard has submitted a proposed change. For clarification, this is for aesthetic purposes only. It was not included in the original scope of work, and it is an unforeseen cost. There's a good possibility that the Texas Historic Commission would provide additional funds to cover, but there's no guarantee. And the court needs to make a decision. The change order total is $396,609.86.
Insurance pay for this?
Huh?
Insurance?
No.
Nope. You wanna give us your thoughts? No, let's be real honest.
We're on a runaway train here. It's not stopping.
Well, $397,000 for aesthetic purposes, that doesn't necessarily protect the building. Sounds like a lot of money to me. Bless you.
Bless you.
So what's it take to protect the business?
Bless you.
A building.
Hmm.
What's it gonna take to protect the building?
Well, I'm just saying that this isn't necessarily a coating like we put on the judicial center, you know, to stop water.
But this, I mean, it will protect it some, you know what I mean? By putting the safety coat on, but that's outside.
Is this the only person our only company that gave us a quote? Or is that
Well,
the?
that's J.C. Stoddard, that's the Texas Historic Commission approved.
That's
bidder.
our contract.
That's our
I mean,
contract.
We signed the contract.
Yeah.
I understand, but if this, if this was unforeseen and unexpected, they don't want to have a clause.
We signed a contract.
A clause in
We signed a contract and you have to go with the Texas Historic Commission approved.
I'm not against that, but are they only have one commission?
That's our contractor, J.C. Stoddard.
Yeah. I knew it was our
Just say
contract.
you're against it.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Nothing, we cannot go out for bids unless we wanna go back to the historic commission, change all of that, and come back 2 years later.
And what's the odds of the historic commission helping out here?
That's the part we don't know.
That's the part we don't know. There's no guarantee. Now, we did send a letter to the historic commission, that we felt like that they needed to consider in this next round, you know, providing additional funding to all the courthouses that were in the restoration, that did not get additional funding. The round of funding prior to us did receive additional monies.
We haven't received anything back from them on the request.
And they don't meet till July. How quickly does it need to be parched? I didn't even know that was a word. New vocabulary word.
So I could say, I know they have the scaffolding out there right now. They have the scaffolding at the courthouse right now, and
Yeah.
it's costing us for them to keep the scaffolding out there. So if the court decided to do this, then we have the scaffolding there now to do it. But if they wanted to wait, then we would have to pay additional fees to bring the scaffolding back out, which is why I think it's important to make a decision pretty soon.
We could eliminate the exterior columns. That's $219,000.
That's the only part you really see.
That's true. If you wanna move forward with it, then we can. We'll just fight super hard with the Texas Historical Commission. What if we just do the column? The rest of it.
This J.C. Stoddard, he's not responsible for anything. I mean, was he did all this to do this and work on
Well, this is what they call an unforeseen,
That's why it's called an unforeseen cost.
when they clean them, what it is, when they black, those columns, they had to, I forget exactly what they had to get a special way to clean what all had been done to them before. How they thought they could clean them, they couldn't. They had to go to a special way without ruining them. And after they cleaned them, they found
Additional
all the
damage.
different patches and,
it?
well, and you know, it had been bashed. Help me here, Jay. Well, it's just been patched all up in different, with different types of material.
I don't know about helping you, but I'll tell you what they said.
And they did everything, you know, to make it look right.
Basically,
This is
what
what
it
you
is,
have to do.
when they stripped them down, the columns are almost like a bare concrete color. Well, with all the patches and the work that's been done over the years, now, ever since I've been here, of course, they've been painted white. So once they stripped them down, you could just see all the discoloration and the different timelines almost of what was done over it. And that's what the parging is gonna do is, I think we've met on this 3 or 4 times, even.
Yeah. And then they
the
decided on something,
color.
and some guy shows up and says, no, you can't use that, you guys got red sand in it, and those have white sand. And now this guy ain't been there the first 2 months.
Yeah,
So
they
we're gonna make a
basically,
decision. Texas Historical Commission makes all the damn.
they've done 4 or 5 mock-ups to get them back to the most original color as they can. And as Milt says, the expert, they call him Yanni is his name. He comes in with a microscope and he says, no, this got too much red in there, this and that. So that's basically all they're trying to do is just make them all look one color. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I say leave them alone, make them look this store.
And Jerry Wayne, I will say this, that courthouse pretty much got mistreated pretty bad. You know, when you rip out the balcony and you stick file cabinets in there and stick HVAC and dig holes through the side of concrete walls and do stuff like that, well then, and when we were in the basement area, they were trying to find the true color. And that guy took his pocket knife and he kind of gently scraped. Then he gently scraped again. Then he just went because there were so many coats of paint over and over and over.
Where's this money coming from?
This year, it come out of our general fund. If we can't get it back from the historic.
Right, if we can't get it back.
And what's the,
And we're working
track
with-
record of other counties trying to get things back from the historical?
Well, we've never had a COVID.
Yeah, see, and we're trying to work with them somehow because we got our grant during COVID.
That's.
So nobody did anything, and then all our prices went up, so what our original quote was way more. And
Double.
so we're working with this or the judge and Jessica. I'm not working. But
Ain't no
I
China
mean,
what? Everything else is China what?
I don't know.
We did do, incur debt because we were concerned about exactly this very situation. And I know we need it. I know we need it. It's the amount that's
Yeah.
sticking right there.
I've tackled projects in my house before, I didn't count for it, and I'm about to pull it. Let's go ahead and do
Well,
something.
that's
I
kind
mean,
of.
my gut feeling is if we this deep into it.
Yeah, we can't
Why
back up.
not, if we got a chance to make it look right, why not make it look right? And hope that the historical commission comes through.
Is that a motion?
Well,
I'll second if it is.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
No,
I'll
I'm
put
just.
against it if you want to.
Oh, no, you spoke.
No, Bill, if it's uncut.
Commissioner Purvis and Commissioner Robertson.
I don't like it, but I mean, I'm gonna vote yes to do it, we're too far ahead. We've got to
Well, that's a
go.
good point, that's why.
But I don't like it.
No, they ain't nobody sitting here like
Yeah.
this. Even Jay said back there, he don't like it. He's having to sit through them darn meetings like I am.
I said I didn't know that I would help you. If court wants to table this, if you go out and look at them right now, that's what it's gonna look like, other than a little bit of ceiling that they're gonna put on. You'll see the little patches in
I
there.
think if we're gonna do it.
I understand.
and that- Now we're gonna have those,
And we don't need to table and wait till.
Yeah, we
No,
don't
no, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying, is if you look at them right now,
that's.
that's what they're gonna look like, other than the ceiling on them.
okay.
Mhm.
So seconded, I do my second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? You're opposed? Okay, opposed, Commissioner Dubose? Motion passes. 4-5. Okay, Commissioner Purvis.
Motion to.
Second.
Purvis Cassidy, what time is it now? 11:24. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.